there. It's me, Kevin. You remember me, right? Did you hear the doors just lock? Man, this blogging from the truck is becoming a regular thing. Seems like it's the only time I get now. That's not true, by the way. I actually recorded a couple of things yesterday when I was in my office, my home office, and scrapped them because I didn't really have anything to talk about. You ever have? And I hate coming back to you guys every week, and it's always like, buy my books, and I'm so great, and buy more books, give me money. I want to give you some real meat on this bone. I want you to feel like you are gaining something from this experience. So, I do have news which could gain you something. I did as of today. Now this is September 4th, so I don't know when you're watching this, and I don't know when I managed to get it live. But as of September 4th, the interview I did with Rachel Parker on her content marketing podcast, her content marketing podcast, which is on the blog, that went live today. So if you're interested, check that out. Now that was an interesting conversation because, her blog is focused on content marketing, which is something I do as part of my business. But the angle there was books, adding books to your content marketing strategy. And as you surely know by now, I'm doing author coaching service now. So the talk was all about how to use books to help promote your business, build your brand, improve your marketing strategy as an add-in to your marketing strategy. So now, if you're not interested in that sort of thing, I understand. But it's an interesting talk anyway. You get to hear me talk for a whole hour, 40 minutes-ish. And there's some funny stuff in there. So go check that out, please. Rachel was so great. It was such a great thing for her to do. I love that she had me on the show. It was an amazing experience. And I really want her to get a lot out of it too. So go subscribe to her podcast and give it a listen. So, beyond that, wow, what a busy... Seems like I've been incredibly busy lately, which can be a good and bad thing. I'm busy with a lot of really productive stuff. Today I was supposed to meet with Joanne and her team at Global Rights at 6 Foot Studios here in Houston for a project, which I can't really discuss, but that got called off. So I'm still meeting with her, and we're going to do a little conversation with some people she knows. But Joanne's great. I love Joanne. She's great. I love her. And occasionally, and very too infrequently actually, we get together for some working sessions and just hang out. So because it's good to be among the three-dimensional people. Do it, Rachel too. Rachel and I have done that at least once. We need to do that more often. When you're in this work and it's all about you're focused on that keyboard all day long. It really is good to have some time to meet with real flesh and blood people. It's sharpening the saw. 7 Habits. I've read it. Cliff Notes. I've read the Cliff Notes. I read the back of the Cliff Notes. I read it on Wikipedia. So, I read the book. I really did read that book. If you haven't read 7 Habits for Highly Successful People, you definitely should. Pick that up, man. That's inspirational and very handy. Sharpening the saw, that's part of the 7 steps. So, anyway, that's how things are shaping up for me. I just got off a client call, potential client call. I should say potential. I think it's pretty solid, but I'm pushing more and more. I'm pushing to do the books as the business. That's my goal. I want my affirmation there every day that I write. Every day I write that I am a wealthy and successful full-time author. And that's the goal. That's what I want to be. That's what I am, really. I mean, the stuff that I'm doing to pay the bills is good. The books are starting to make more money, so that's good. You know, I'm really doing this, and a big part of that, a big reason why this is working is you, because you're, you know, I don't know if you really realize how important you actually are to me. I mean, you're pretty amazing to show up and watch me just kind of ramble for a few minutes on YouTube, and to read my stuff, and to comment, and to connect with me on social media. I mean, man, it would be pointless to do this without you. So I really want to express my gratitude for you being around. And you know, if there's ever anything I can do to help you out, I mean, just ask. You know, sometimes it's amazing what happens. I had a conversation with I won't give her name. I had a conversation with someone today, and she's thinking of kind of branching out and starting her own business, leaving her employer, and it would be dangerous. It would be a risk for her. But you know, we weren't even really talking about that to begin with. I was asking her advice on something else entirely. But then I was able to give her some advice. You know, like here's what you can expect. Here's some tools that might be handy for you. Some things you might want to consider. And you know, she was really inspired by that, and she's going to run with some of that. So, but in that conversation, I learned a few things that I wasn't expecting to learn. We didn't show up to have this conversation at all. Had a whole different conversation, but just in talking to each other, you know, I picked up some things that are going to be really helpful for my business. So it's really it's fascinating how this whole networking is about so much more than what you ever really thought it was about. You know, like I never considered it. It's exhausting to try to do networking the way I always thought networking worked, which is to show up at all these functions and shake hands and try to sell people. I mean, that's just not networking. That's that's just ludicrous. So anyway, I'm off on a rabbit trail, but I just want to say thank you for supporting this old Wordslinger, and you know, I'm glad that you like my work. I'm glad that you're reading my stuff. I would do this. I mean, honestly, I would do all this if no one read, but if no one paid any attention to me, I would keep doing it because I love that work. Storytelling is what I do, but it sure makes it a lot easier to come back every single day when I know that there are people out there that care about me and care about what I'm doing. So, honest to God, thank you. I really am so appreciative. So, give yourself a little hand clap today. Do that number, because you deserve it. So, that moment, you deserve it. That's from me to you. So, hey, if you got any questions, give me a buzz. You know, I'm starting a podcast. I think I've mentioned this before, and I'm kind of ironing out the details, and it's going to be called the Wordslinger Podcast. Big surprise. But it's going to focus on story, and it's going to focus on how story impacts our daily lives, our culture, how we can use story in business to build a brand, how we can, you know, I'm going to talk to people about how to get into publishing if that's what they're interested in. But I'm also going to focus on some human stories, like, you know, Humans from New York, right? Or stuff that you hear on NPR. Those tidbits of people's lives, those little cross sections of people's lives. I'm going to focus on some of that and share those stories too. So there will be interviews with, you know, people I respect and admire, and people I just meet. You know, I hope you'll listen in. I think you'll dig it. I'm this close. I've got I just got the VO for the intro today. I haven't even had a chance to listen to it yet. But it's going to have some familiar music. Sorry, but I'm going to use the same. I'm reusing some stuff, but it makes sense in what I'm doing. So anyway, I think you'll like that. I hope you'll support it. I know you will. I'm doing it for you, and I think story is a means of improving your life I think a lot of times people don't even consider how much impact a story has. I think my entire life has been shaped by the stories that I've encountered. Yeah. When I think back I've changed so much. Even just the past 2 years, I've changed so much. So, and that's part of my story, and it comes from some of my story. So, anyway, that's it. I'm going to wrap, and thank you so much for watching. If you have questions, if you're interested in the podcast, I haven't launched the page yet, but there's going to be a Google Voice button on there that you can actually leave me voicemail messages so that I can play them on air and answer your questions. Isn't that cool? And I'm thinking about setting that up also, a second one for just chatting with me, period. Just chatting with me about anything. I want you to have access to me, I want to be able to talk to you and get to know you. So keep an eye on my blog. That's where I'll announce all this first. So you want to go to kevintumlinson.com, click on that blog link. Actually, you'll see the blog on the homepage. I don't have a blog link. Just go to the homepage, check out the blog, look for the announcement, run through there. You can see some interviews I've been doing lately with some other indie authors, some interviews I've done with them, like I've interviewed them, and some interviews that they're doing with me, featuring me and my work. So man, lots of stuff. You're gonna dig it. I think I'm rolling out a whole new direction here. So go check that out. Send me an email or contact me on my website if you've got any questions. You just want to make a comment. You just want to pal around. Let's get in touch. Let's talk. Let's do this. KevinTumlinson.com. And you can learn more about my books there. You can learn more about me. You can connect with me on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. My site contains links to that, so that's the easiest way to do that. But I'll try to put something down below. Ask me anything. I'm open. Ask me about publishing. Ask me about marketing. Ask me about the weather. It's hot. Oh, my air conditioner is fixed. So we have crispy, cool air again. Whew. If you don't live in the Houston area, you may not understand how big that is, how vital, important that is. So that is back, thank God. Wow, it's been rough, but I'm very grateful for that to be back. So enough rambling. We're at 12 minutes plus, so I'm gonna let you go. KevinTumlinson.com, and I will chat with you soon.